to get the night started. Downfield looking for Godwin. Into his hands. And guess which dogs are barking first? Uga, get after it.
Chubb scored a touchdown earlier on a direct snap. Now it's Michelle's turn, running all the way. Gets to the edge. Sonny Michel will send the Dogs home to the championship game.
And Bobo throws that thing in the end zone and
yes! Touchdown! Touchdown in the goal line!
Cambiando estaba Billingsley. Interceptado. Y a ver hasta dónde lo puede devolver. Es Kelly Ringo. Sigue Ringo. Corta adentro. Ringo. Touchdown. Georgia.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Robert Iron E. Singleton, a.k.a. D-Dog from The Walking Dead, or Alton from The Blind Side. Also the former DB turned running back for the University of Georgia. And you are watching Respect the Hedges on the Fan Addict Sports Network. All right, guys, go Dogs. Sick 'em. What's going on? We're back in here for Respect the Hedges Football 101, making you a better football fan. And as always, Respect the Hedges is presented by the Tailgate Kings. Your boy Coach I, and we are here for part 4 of our 4-part series. That's right, 4 weeks have gone by quick, and I have enjoyed every minute of it. Today we're going to talk a little recruiting basics and NIL, transfer portal, and touch on some spring game people that we are looking forward to seeing. So let's, without further ado, let's bring on our cast of characters. My co-host from the Respect the Hedges show, former tight end at the University of Georgia, my man Javaris Johnson. What's going on, JV?
Hey, what's going on, Coach? Hey, listen, man, you are exactly right. Listening to the last episode of this 4-part series, but man, it's flown by and I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed our new guests, not even guests, our new family members to the Respect the Hedges and the Fanatic site, man. We had a great time. So looking forward to tonight. Let's get it rocking and rolling. Looking forward to some great content.
That's right, man. Let's bring on one of our other co-hosts for the Football 101 series. She's a UGA alum. She's the first lady of Respect the Hedges. We'll bring on Miss Shelby McDonald. What's going on, Shelby?
Hey, y'all. I'm so excited. Y'all have said it. This 4 weeks has been amazing. I've had a good time. I've learned a lot. I hope that people who've watched have learned a lot too. And it's just been a great time. I don't know what I'm going to do next week. Maybe we could come back on and do something else. I don't know, but I'll find, y'all could call me or something. I'll be here.
That's right. All right. The fourth and final piece to our Football 101 cast and crew. She's a UGA alum, of course, and she's a former trainer at UGA and another SEC school, physical therapist, avid UGA fan. One of her sons is on the equipment staff for the Dogs right now. She's a former Walter High School Touchdown Club president and current board member for the Atlanta Touchdown Club and the 2023 RTH, Respect the Hedges, on-campus correspondent. We're talking about Hina Patel.
Hi, everybody. Good to see you guys.
What's going on, Hina?
All right.
Can't believe this is it. It's our last one.
That's right. It's been a fun ride.
It's been so much fun. I'm just wondering for that on the field. Do I need to go with this on?
Oh, she brought the black Outback helmets out.
Yeah. Wait. I don't know. Do we want to bring that out? You know what? We can't. We're already changing UGGs. Let's not do too much.
I know. That's true. We are. That's right.
Let's not do too much too fast, y'all.
That's right. As Shelby said, we are changing UGGs. Q is retiring as of this Saturday, and we are introducing, is it Boom?
Boom.
Boom.
Boom. That's right. Boom. He's 10
He's number
months old.
11.
Number 11. That's right. He's number
Yeah.
11. So, hey, we're going to welcome him into the fold, and he's going to keep that winning tradition. Shout out to you, Uga, also known as Q. Q is the winningest Uga in history of UGA. So, I mean, that's what it is. So, stat guy in the building. He says, sup to the dogs from Gamecock Country. That's
What
going
up, stat
on.
guy?
Hey, stat guy.
That's right. That's right. So today, man, we're going to talk a little recruiting, talk some NIL. We got a special guest for y'all today. Y'all been hearing about a lot of the NILs and the collectives going around. So we had to bring in somebody of our own. Hina, go ahead and introduce our guest.
We'd like to introduce Stephen Farmer. He's a former equipment manager at Georgia, only a couple years ago, not back in the day. And he is the chief revenue officer for the Classic City Collective. And
Thanks for having me, everybody. I was back in the day, and so I watched JV catch some balls, and I probably threw him a few here and there back in the day. So.
That was my dude back then, man.
Oh,
hey,
my
listen.
gosh, are you serious? You guys were at the same time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Incredible. I love it. I love it. Small world. Small
It really is.
Wow.
That's right. That's right.
Bringing the connection back together. Look at Hina doing a great job.
Absolutely.
Doing a great job. Shout out to Hina for all the connections for the Football
Absolutely.
101.
Thank you all. This has been amazing.
I was over at practice today. I just got back to Atlanta. So.
Okay, that sounds good. So, like I said, we're just gonna jump into some recruiting. I want to speak on. We actually got a recruit today to bolster that 2024 class. A kid out of Indiana is a wide receiver, is a 3-star. But as we know, once they get to Athens Caribbean Crew, they know how to develop our talent. As we go along, we will be saying hey to some of the people checking in. Benita Patel is saying, "Go Hina." She is checking in.
She's been so.
That's right. Listen, KR86, I think wherever they at, they're trying to do some emojis. It says hand pink waving, so I'm assuming they're waving at us.
I like it.
That's right. That's right. So recruiting right now is, you have 4 different time periods during the recruiting calendar. You got the evaluation period, you got the contact period, you got the dead period, and the quiet period. The evaluation period, a coach can go see an athlete in person. And whether it be practice, a game, off campus, whatever it is, but they are able to talk to that particular recruit. So, this time of year, what are they doing? Like 7-on-7 spring games, things of that nature. So coaches can go to a spring practice. They can talk to the coach, but they cannot talk to the actual athlete. During the contact period is just what it is. Coaches can email, text, call, direct message, whatever, in-person contact, on campus, all of that stuff. Now, during the dead period, which happens, I want to say in June, we can get the calendar to verify. But during the dead period, coaches can't have any in-person contact with the recruits. They're not allowed to talk to recruits at their campus, at their athlete school, at the grocery store, none of that stuff. But they still can send communications via like email and social media and things of that nature. So, and then the quiet period is similar to the dead period, but it says here, a coach may not have face-to-face contact with the college-bound athletes, and they may not watch them at their school or anything like that. So during the quiet periods of time, you can, if the athlete calls the coaches, then they can talk to them that way. Just a breakdown of a simple recruiting calendar. So currently, I think we are in the evaluation period where they can go to the schools, but most coaches are, as Steven said, practicing, getting ready for the spring games. I think somebody had Auburn had a spring game last weekend. It didn't look too good. Just to let y'all know, I did check that out.
We had
Was it on TV? I'm sorry.
I don't know if it was on TV on a replay. I don't know if it was on TV live.
My bad.
We are talking about Slaughter. Man.
Yeah.
Okay, but I have a question. I've got a question for Steven. So during the recruiting period, can you guys talk to the recruits?
No.
Okay.
We're not allowed to talk to them until they get on campus for a class.
Oh, so there it is. So just in case you're just now checking in, we got Stephen Farmer up at the top left. He is part of the Classic City Collective, and Shelby want to know if the collectives at each school can talk to the recruits And Stephen's no, we can't talk to them till they're actually a student. Correct,
To
Stephen?
their student, not when they sign their NLI, which is always confusing, NLI and not NIL. But yeah, then until they get on campus and are enrolled in classes and attend a class.
Okay. All right. Lance is checking in. He said he's here for his NIL.
Want to give me a call?
Our guy Priest Perry is checking in. He said, I think if they had NIL in his day, he'd have locked up Guthrie's and Smoothie King.
No, we're gonna
say that.
We're switching to Zaxby's. We're switching to Zaxby's, not Guthrie's.
Switching to Zaxby's. So, oh my goodness. So, I think in our group chat, we talked about some recruiting and NIL as far as we talk about, Florida and was it Jada Rashada, the whole, was it 13.65 and just in general, Stephen, the numbers that they throw out there, are these like for a whole college career numbers, or are they like how does that work? Like, I don't know if it like Jaden Rashada's numbers were exact, but let's say we're talking about his situation, like would the 13.65 million be for like 4 years or what?
His was a 4-year deal. And we knew that those numbers were way inflated of what was possible and what could be done by not by just Florida, but those numbers are very, very high for anybody, any school. We don't have numbers like that. They get inflated by different players, agents, coaches, all those things. And so a lot of the numbers are being thrown out. You don't need to believe. And some of the collectives, we talk to each other. Our CEO, Matt Hedges, is a former compliance guy, and he's been at Tennessee and Ohio State, a few places. And so we talk just like players talk in the locker room, and guys know what other guys are making, those kind of things. We know what's out there and what's and they're a little inflated right now.
Okay, that's what I mean. I was thinking, I'm like, bro, like it's a lot of money. I'm not saying that the other money is chump change. I'm just saying that's a lot of money.
That was a lot of money.
Right.
So in short, Steve. You saying that that was a bunch of cap?
Yeah. That wasn't going to happen. And then he found out that wasn't happening, and that's why he's at Arizona State.
I think it's Arizona State. Yes.
He didn't have anything, when he got there. So I'm sure he'll get something, and should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it made a big change for him.
Yeah, and then and Hina brought up something in the pre-show. There's 131 Division I schools. So when you're talking about NIL for all the NIL possibilities for all of those schools, I mean, each team gets 85 scholarships. Not everybody's getting money, people. Like I know it seems like that everybody's getting paid, but not everybody's sharing money. You do have some of these kids that are willing to share some of their deals or whatever. How does that work, Stephen? Like if y'all were to, like if one kid gets an NIL and it's worth, I don't know, 2 million, how can he share? Does he just get paid and then manually distribute those, or?
Right. And that's, I think Brock had a comment a couple of months ago about not receiving money from us, from the Classic City Collective. And that's true. He does not. And there are deals that we probably could get him, or he could be involved in, he's not getting to then spread the money that we do have and the money we do get to other players. And so they can share it, but that's between them, each other, things like that. But we do have deals that, we work with 5 offensive linemen or things like that. We work as a group, or for the women's basketball team, we've done some things with some local business and stuff like that. So it's really, and I'll start by saying this is new to everybody. And so we don't have, like Learfield, who sells all of our signage in the stadium and the radio ads and TV ads and all those things. They have a rate card for what, 30 seconds of radio time costs, or what signage in the stadium costs. They've had that rate card for years. This is all new to us. So we're trying to figure it out as we go. And so if somebody offers us something, we're like, okay, that sounds good. We'll take it. And it's just, we're trying to figure it out. We're learning as we go, not only from the rate card, but since I started in September, there's been probably 5 or 6 different very large NCAA rule changes that have kind of affected how we do things and how we make deals, how we raise money, stuff like that. So.
Okay.
Can you speak to a couple of those?
A couple of the rules?
The rule changes.
Can you speak to a couple of those new rule changes?
Yeah, at one point we thought we would be able to, our operational costs would be able to be covered by the Athletic Association. And then that changed the start of 2023. So we had structured our business to not have to worry about salaries, rent, just operational costs that we have. But now that's still what we have to raise money for too as well. And then also we thought that we'd be able to give points out to our donors / NIL marketing people, but we can't. So we're not allowed to give. And so when a UGA person that wants to help the program says they want to help me and CCC, I can't give them anything, to be honest with you. I can't give them any points. I can't give them that help them prove their tickets. And that's a huge thing, especially where we are now, getting better tickets for the Rose Bowl, Peach Bowl, national championship games. And so that's a big issue we have. We have a 501c3 way to do some things and make it a tax deductible gift. Then you don't get any marketing help. So those are the challenges we have. And now, Texas A&M has come out and said they're giving points to their fans, and they didn't ask for permission. I guess they're asking for forgiveness. So we'll see what the NCAA and SEC does on this. And they've been rogue this entire time since this whole thing.
It seems, I was just about to say, it seems that way, that Texas A&M is just trying to kind of do their own thing and hoping that the NCAA, like you say, ask for forgiveness instead of permission at the end. So we got a question from the stat guy for Steven. He said, is it more about just finding the money for the players or trying to link them up with the right opportunity?
Yes. It's both. No, it is both. It is. There's basically there's two ways to fund. There's a we can find donors, and this is where I raised money at UGA and the Bulldog Club from 02 to 13, and so I have a pretty good institutional knowledge of who our bigger donors are, and still have stayed in contact with those people. And so you can fundraise through these people, and the money goes into a big pot, and then you can actually find the NIL deals. And it kind of depends on what the person's looking for. Are they looking for a tax deduction, or are they looking to actually, market their business? I mentioned 5 offensive linemen. We got a gentleman that is actually a member of the Atlanta Athletic Club that owns a bunch of Take 5 oil changes, and so that's why he wants the 5 offensive linemen. And last year Keeley did something with him because it was a Take 5, and Keeley wore number 5, and so we try to make things like that fit if they can. But ideally, we'd love for everybody to throw the money in the pot, and then ultimately Kirby's the CEO of everything, and so he decides how things are distributed and who has earned what they get.
Okay.
I think real quick on that, Stephen. I don't know exactly who it is, but he's being a little modest in that he's saying it's the money, but he's got another side of him where he does link up the cause too. He has helped out somebody from a family perspective, meaning linking up a donor and the player's family, and they ended up really having a lot in common. And so now they're friends more than it is a financial deal. And so, I don't know if you can speak to that or want to speak to that, but I really appreciated you telling me that there's more to NIL than meets the eye. It's not just
the big money. I'll make it brief. We had a walk-on that was a very important walk-on and probably could have played somewhere else. Kirby reached out to us and said, could you find him something? He's not getting any money. He's having to pay his own tuition. We found his spring tuition and $1,000 a month to help him live on. And
awesome.
he's doing some small things for this company. And the husband and wife who run the company wanted to meet him and sign the contract. And he brought his mom. And, it turned out that the mom was a single mom, still taking care of the player, and had a special needs daughter who will never leave her house. She's 17 now and has some issues, and she will always have to take care of her. Well, just, randomly, this couple, they have a special needs daughter who's 30, and they started talking and crying and hugging, and they've become friends, and they've helped the single mom find some ways to help her daughter and do things. And so it's just, and they've taken a burden off of her having to worry about her son's spring tuition and living expenses and things like that. And so that's stuff we can do that are wonderful things that we've been able to do. We had one more story. I'm just
take your time. Hey, go with it.
Go with it, Steve.
We got a whole hour.
Okay. Well, it's a tennis story. We had a fifth-year senior who got the COVID year that everybody's getting, and a women's tennis player. And we had a chance to get the number 2 or 3, depending on different rankings, recruit in the country to come in. And she gave up her scholarship. The senior did. So this girl can come in. And now we're ranked 4th in the country right now because of this freshman come in and the senior who gave up her scholarship. And we told her we would try to help her, but we didn't guarantee. I mean, we couldn't guarantee it at the time. But then I knew some people who were tennis supporters and other things. And so we've now been able to find the money to pay for her tuition and to cover her scholarship.
Man, that's awesome.
She did that for her team. And that's the truest sacrifice. Without knowing for 100% fact she was going to get the money. And so we were able to help them out. And now the team's ranked 4th in the country. We have a good shot at winning the national championship. And so there's some good stories. I know everybody hears bad stories about NIL, but there's some great things of kids taking care of family and doing things like that and taking care of teammates. And, us taking this burden, this couple that did, and us, I just facilitated it, helping this, single mother who has a special needs daughter and taking something off her plate. And those are the things we can do that are great out there. And there's always going to be some bad stories, but there are more good stories that just don't get put out there in the press.
Yeah, more negative stuff is always easier to travel, mouth to mouth. People don't spread the good stuff. So
absolutely.
Priest, you answered one of his questions, but he said he's got 3 questions for you. So he said, if what is the average income for a college player today, or average for Georgia? And then he wanted to know if NIL dollars had trickled down to the walk-ons as well.
I kind of answered that one because that did trickle down to walk-ons. And, again, players are on their own to go, if they want to go find deals and money. We'll help facilitate it and help them with contracts. And then we help them on the back end. I'm going to give a plug to Truist Bank. They're our official bank, and they give all of our players free advice and free tax services. All of our student athletes that sign with. And so nice. it does trickle down. They can go get things like that. That average, I couldn't tell you the average, and we're all over the board at Georgia. Based on experience, based on talent and what they've done. But again, like on last year's team, we did absolutely nothing for Stetson. We, as in Classic City Collective, we didn't do anything for Stetson, for Jalen, for Keeley, for Brock, and a couple other guys. And a couple of guys we had deals with that are going to probably drop off our payroll, to be honest with you. Some of the guys that are about to step up as stars, and Starks and a few guys like that are about to make it big time, and they can get their own deals and do a lot better than what we could do for them. And then that opens up money for players. We're at Georgia. We play more players than anybody in the country. I mean, it's not even close. And so so we need those backup linebackers, backup defensive ends. That's what makes us special and what makes our defense so good this year and the next following years, because everybody's playing. And so everybody has experience the next year, even when you lose people. And so those are the people that are not going to get deals on their own and have people reaching out to them to give them NIL deals. So that's my job and my boss's job. And we've got another guy, Patrick Jacobs, in our office, a great kid. And so we're trying to keep numbers 11 through 85 on the roster here.
Yeah. Got you. So earlier you said that of course until they're a student recruit, you guys don't talk to the recruits or anything. Is that the same with transfer portal kids? Until they're a UGA student, you don't have any contact or anything with them?
Correct. And when you mentioned earlier talking about the recruiting calendar, it's completely changed now because Kirby and his staff, they're recruiting players every day, their own players. The portal is about to open up, and there's probably going to be some guys that they're maybe not on the depth chart where they thought they would be after spring practice, and they may look around. And we got to make sure that Kirby had guys in his and the coaches had guys in their office on the 10th, 11th, and 12th of January when they got back from LA.
Yeah.
So it's year round. It's really having the portal and NIL is like having yearly contract and free agency in the NFL.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, speaking of recruiting and a yearly contract, even though you will see these athletes put out there that they have a full ride, a scholarship is a 1-year deal. Like you do not get a guarantee that you're going to have a scholarship all 4 years, 5 years, whatever it is. You get that renewed every year. Now, of course, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, I think it's kind of a no-brainer, but that's not always the case. And then as Steven spoke on the transfer portal, there's 2 times they can enter the transfer portal. It's one time I want to say in December, and then like you said, it's coming up again here in May. And I know there's going to be some people that want to know, hey, how did spring practice go? I'm not where I thought I was. Like, right. I'm interested personally to see what our linebacker room is like after the spring, because I think we are very deep at inside linebacker.
We're loaded all at linebacker. Some of the kids that came in this year that came in early, they've looked good at practice the last couple weeks.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see. I mean, we already lost the guy that went to Alabama. I forget his name. He wore Tresman Marshall. He left, and then now I heard Xavier Sorry is doing good, and then you got those 3 freshmen like Steven's referring to, and it's gonna be interesting to see how that pans out. I heard that our wide receiver room is pretty deep this year, so I'm interested to see.
We look good. Yeah. Today they look very good with some with number 5 and number 6 coming in from
Mississippi State and Missouri.
In that order, yeah, Mississippi State, Missouri, 5 and 6. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good problem to have. That's what happens when you get champs. That's what happens when you got the best coaching staff in the country. That's what happens when you got some of the best facilities in the country. And that's also what happens when you have one of the best collectives in the country. So we'll take those problems.
I'll hit you up for that later. Thank you.
Well, while we're asking about positions, how are we looking at the quarterback position?
Oof.
We look good. They all are a little different. Probably number 2 and 3 are a little closer and more similar than number 1 right now. And they're spaced like that. That's just by experience. And I would be extremely shocked if a starter is named after Saturday. A true number 1. But Beck looks good, and then the other two guys are probably better athletes, but they don't have the experience, and Beck's probably got a little better arm, but they all look good. It's a pretty good problem. We didn't sign anybody in this 23 class, and so if somebody transfers, then we'll have to grab somebody out of the portal to make sure we at least have 3 scholarship guys on the roster. So, but they all look good. It's a good problem to have, because I think a couple years ago when we went into the portal and had to grab some guys, it was because we didn't like our quarterback room. Now we really like the quarterback room, and so it's a different problem of having to pick who, more so than it was. I guess that was 17 or 18 maybe, and so yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Priest throwing JV a bone here.
Oh,
he said, just so JV can talk about it. How's Lucky, Steven? How's Lucky looking at the tight end?
Because I was coming with that heat, Priest.
We were just waiting.
We gonna talk.
You were waiting patiently, but we were waiting.
It's it wasn't it's never been as good as the tight end room we had back in the 98, 99, 2000 seasons. But
shout out to my guy Stephen Farmer, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not quite there yet, but Pierce, one of the other freshmen, broke his collarbone, so he hadn't been practicing. But Lucky's looked good, and Lucky actually got a little praise earlier in the week
from Kirby.
I saw that.
But then today, Kirby got on him some, so I think it's it's part of what Kirby does. I think sometimes, so he got on him today some for
brings you back down a notch.
Yeah, exactly. Build him up, knock him back down, get him, and he has been to practice. When Kirby's on that microphone, he doesn't hold back on anybody. He even yelled at Coach Cavan today to get off the sideline and told him his old blank couldn't get out of the way fast enough in time, so he better back up. So nobody talks to Coach Cavan.
Oh my!
Yeah,
wow.
So he didn't hold back.
I got a chance to go to a spring practice last year, and Kirby stays on the microphone from the start to the finish. And
well, that's why we're back-to-back champions. I mean,
exactly.
Well, you don't experience any more pressure in a game than you do in practice. That's what I like. The eye in the sky never lies. Kirby throws all the pressure on you, and case in point, Steven, I don't know if you were able to catch an episode that we had last week, but we had Malachi Starks on. Okay. And Malachi said to us, he said, hey, listen, it's tough here at Georgia because Kirby doesn't give you any slack. He doesn't take any shorts. He said, but I've learned to accept the message and not the tone, because Kirby is going to give it to you and he's going to break you down. He's going to make you feel like, you're a number. Take a number, young guy, but he builds you up. And this is one of the best coaching staffs in the country, if not the best. So these guys are really prepared. And that's why we look so good. Like you said, we have a lot of people, but we look so good because everybody always feels that pressure from practice all the way through the fourth quarter of the first to last game.
Yeah. The number of times I've heard, hey, a 5-star just got beat by a 2-star. Hey, Kirby lets them all have it. He lets them know, five-star just got beat by a 1-star. But JV, when you played, and I've spent some time with Coach Donovan lately, he's actually helping us. We always went 1 versus 2 and 2 versus 1.
Mm-hmm.
Kirby's 1 versus 1. The whole time it's 1 versus 1. So he's iron sharpens iron, and they go after it. They don't mess around.
So Stephen, I know earlier you mentioned that you guys, like you just say, that you go find opportunities when you can. Are there ever times when you have opportunities present themselves and now you have to say, Kirby, hey, we got this opportunity. They're looking for 2 or 3 players or something like that?
Absolutely. Again, he's the CEO. We just I just go find it when we need it, or when opportunities come in. We kind of let them talk about it and figure out what needs to be done and who needs to be taken care of and who's earned what they've earned. And again, it's all new. We're still trying to figure it out. We've got an event in the week after spring game on the 22nd. The players are coming, and we've got a bunch of auction items, selling tables, and just trying to try new things. We're trying to find different revenue than going straight to donors constantly. We've got a great partnership with Apotheos Coffee, giving them a plug. They as a former UGA alum who started his own coffee company, and any places we get them in for business, they're splitting their profits with us. And
hey, Stephen, do you have a website or a link for that coffee company so that we can make sure that our Respect the Hedge viewers and the people who catch the show later can check out that site and that coffee company?
Absolutely. And then I was with them today. They're actually going to look like they're going to open a tiny little shop in the front of our office downtown. And we've gotten them in a couple of hotels around town and some other big things. And we think we'll make mid to upper 6 figures a year with them. And so that's taken. And we've got some other different Georgia-owned businesses that are trying to do some things like that with us. And Coach Donovan's brought us a great deal that we're working on. I had a Zoom call this morning with him and another guy trying to get some things taken care of that it's not donor fatigue. I mean, UJ and the Bulldog Club has done a great job in the last 10 years rebuilding all the facilities everywhere. And so there's a little bit of donor fatigue, but we've got to find some different revenue streams that we can use. And like this event we're having in the indoor facility. And then we've got a couple of country music stars playing in the 150 seat downstairs at Hotel Indigo on May 18th. We got Brantley Gilbert and a few guys coming that are big Georgia fans and willing to donate their time, and we're selling some expensive tickets to get some people in there for a private show, and just trying to do little different things like that to raise some money.
So there's 85 scholarship players on a team. Correct. Is there ever a time when a player wants to talk to the collective, and let's say they're one of the players that don't actually play, they don't get a lot of playing time? Have you ever had to turn down a player like, hey, we can't really do anything for you?
Well, yeah, we've had to tell them, hey, we'll go look for a deal, and like we did for the walk on, or hey, you've got to prove yourself and get there first, and then we'll find you. And we've got some people that want more than what they're getting because they've heard, because those guys in the locker room talk, that, and hey, this guy's getting this guy's getting that, and I'm like, well, let's earn it. Go out and start and catch some passes.
It's the breaks.
Be like JV. I mean, come on.
So Stephen,
I'm how can on fee for that one too.
I know. I mean, it's a lot. Y'all owe each other a lot of money right now.
Yeah.
How can regular people get involved, Stephen? Like if we just want to buy a ticket or just come to an event, do you guys have a website? Do you sell them to the public? How does that work?
Yeah, we have a website, classiccitycollective.com. I kind of wish it was a little shorter, especially when my email is like farmer@classiccitycollective.com. But our grassroots thing is called the 21 Club that we started, and it's $21 a month. It's what we're trying to, if we can get 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 of our fans to sign up for that and take care of our operating costs and some other things. But you can direct it to any sport you want. And it's we call it the 21 Club because we won our title in 21. Plus Dominique wore 21, Sequence's numbers retired 21. We've got 21 sports. So it was kind of a good number. And we thought, hey, that's two coffees a month you can spare and pay $21 a month. So
we like it.
That. And then we've got some special events. And, when people ask me, and y'all mentioned earlier, what's the deal? What's the average? What's the thing? We really don't have one. We're flying by the seat of our pants right now, to be honest with you, trying to figure out what we're doing. And we'll take anything. And I'll talk to anybody about any kind of opportunity, about what's great. We actually have got some guys that wanted to give speakers to all of our football players and gymnastics team members, and these big dog speakers. And so he gave us 175 speakers that we're giving out to people. And so they just want to get their name out there and do different things. And we're willing to help. We're willing to have different sponsors. I've got a good friend, Jaron Solomon, who's I'm plugging a lot right here.
That's right. You are.
I know.
You got to let them know that you put their names out there.
Yeah, Jaron Solomon owns Solomon Brothers Jewelers, and they're going to be the official jewelry shop, jewelry store of the Classic City Collective, and give us some money, and then try to take care of our coaches and players, and one, make sure everybody's buying something they should be buying, and making sure it appraises what it actually worth or less, and trying to take care of our guys. And we've got a lot of car dealerships that want our players to do things with them and do signings and things like that. So it's all over the board, and we're willing to listen to anybody and anything.
Can you speak on that other? We're going to do another little plug. That alcohol, the one we're not going to name from the South.
Yeah, we're not going to name. They're actually coming to practice with me on Thursday, but we've got a partnership we're working at doing. And it's kind of a awkward situation, awkward time right now with what happened back in January.
Right.
Yes.
But it's a partnership that will help us with some revenue and things that we think will be a good partnership, and it'll be a partnership that we don't include our student athletes with, and they won't be doing any advertising involved in those kind of things. So we want to make sure that kind of stays separate. But they're good folks, good Georgia fans, and they want to help, and they've come out with some ways. And the Apotheos Coffee situation is actually what brought that to their mind, and so we've been happy to meet with a few different companies that want to do some things like that.
Yeah, for those that's just joining us, hey, we're sitting here talking recruiting, mainly NIL. We got a special guest, Stephen Farmer, who's a part of the Classic City Collective that assists with NIL. So Kirby's doing a great job at recruiting. So I'm pretty sure every year y'all are going to get more and more kids once they enroll in school and take part in the team. They're going to be trying to hit you up, say, hey, man, we need some NIL, because currently we're actually number one in the 2024 class. And
and the 2022 class only, not everybody got an NIL deal when they got there. Only a few did. But when this past class got there, and we had 23 of them come in early, I think, or 24. And so they were all getting deals pretty quick. And so, no more of only some people getting it, some not. It's going to be pretty much, everybody in the class, we're going to have something ready for when they do get on campus.
Different levels. Okay. Because I was going to say, some, of course, with recruiting, some people come in with the higher ranking after signing day, but from what you have said, it sounds like, just, you still got to produce on the field before you
absolutely. And I'll tell you, and not just because he's our coach and I don't officially work for him, but and he's a friend, and I was the defensive back manager for Kirby and threw him a lot of interceptions back in the day, and but he's doing it the right way. I mean, we're doing it the right way. We're making sure that guys come in and earn what they get, and we're not. Our numbers are nowhere close to other schools, but we're lucky in the sense that we talked about earlier. All of our facilities are built what we need to be. Kirby's putting people in the NFL. And we're doing it the right way, and everybody's playing. We play a lot of guys, so they want to come play it for it. And so we're not seeing any numbers like a lot of schools are. And,
okay.
And another thing I'll mention too, the kids that are under contract with Classic City Collective are on monthly contracts.
That was going into my next one. Like, what happens when those kids that are under contract hit the transfer portal?
They're under contract for the rest of that month.
Okay.
And that's it. And then,
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's actually pretty smart, to go month to month instead of
Absolutely.
semester to semester or, yearly, because like you said, there's 2 times the internet portal. And if you already got a contract to say they're supposed to get paid, then they got to get their money.
Exactly. And there may be, some guys that go in the portal who are like, hey, we appreciate your time here, but, good luck.
Now, Steve, let me ask you this then, kind of pertaining to that same or the similar topic on surrounding that. Are there situations to where there have been athletes that have had longer term contracts, or has it been month to month from the beginning that have looked to transfer or that have gone into the transfer portal that might have come back?
Ours have always been month to month with our guys, and that's to protect them, protect us. You won't see us doing any 4-year deals or things like that. I think, and the Florida deal is still going to be interesting to see what happens legally with that. If he has any legal standing to go after the collective at Florida. But there's been guys that wanted more guarantees than what they, what they're getting. But we want to make sure, one, they're doing the things we ask them to do. We have them come to different events. Mm-hmm. We've had our players go to one more of my plugs is the Golden Pantry is our official country store of the Classic City Collective, and they're big with the very special people. And so we've had our players go do some events with very special people at Golden Pantry and things, and we have a little control over them by them being on monthly contracts. That hey, you need to do what we've asked you to do. When the social media things, going to do things like that. Hey, if you're going to get your monthly check, then you need to do what we ask. And so that gives us a little bit, a little more power. I guess power is not the right word, but making sure they're doing what they need to be doing, and they're doing the right thing. And they already have to answer to Kirby, so that's tough enough as it is. But then if they want to get paid, then they get their monthly check, and they need to make sure they're doing what they're doing, and so that's why we're able to do it. And it also protects us that different companies that we're with or different donors that, that they're protected and not, if somebody either leaves or somebody gets in trouble, that they're not stuck with another 9 months of payments with those guys.
So is the month-to-month thing a thing that you guys decided to do, or is that kind of the standard for the collectives?
I think that's I don't know many others that started it, but we did start it. Matt Hibbs did. And again, Matt's been great. He's a lawyer, plus he's worked at Barstool Sports as an agent, plus he's been the football compliance guy at Ohio State, Tennessee, and Georgia. So he on that side of the fence, he's great. I mean, he knows all those things. And that's why we've had the backing of the president and Josh Brooks and Kirby, because they trust him doing those kind of things and making sure we're staying on the right side of the line and doing things the right way. And he can read the contracts and all those kind of things like that. And so it's been great. And there are a couple other collectives that kind of started back in the day when this all got going, and they're no longer, because the Athletic Association endorses us and trusts us. We actually meet with the senior staff, executive senior staff, every other Friday to make sure we're all on the same page and we're all doing the correct things and making sure everything we're doing is above board.
I have a question with the month to month. Is there any correlation to academic? Well, they're academics. Do they have to be above par in order to receive that check also? They
have to be eligible. And so that, and luckily we don't have that problem much, at all. And so it's not been an issue since I've been here. And so I've been here for 2 semesters now. So, but it's not been an issue. But yeah, they need to stay eligible to be under contract with us.
There's some dope information, people. Like I said, if you just joined in, we're talking some recruiting, mainly NIL part of recruiting. Once they get on campus, we got Stephen Farmer, part of the Classic City Collective, that helps out with the NIL deals, some NIL deals in Athens. We'll
do it everywhere.
Everywhere for the UGA players.
Absolutely, doesn't matter where. We'll take money from anybody, anywhere.
That's
Not
right.
anybody, but most anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most everybody.
Not everybody.
So
We got some avenues for you, Steven. We got some avenues for you.
I like it. I like it.
JV's the businessman.
JV is
Yeah.
So he does that thing. So I do want to ask. So like we talked earlier about the Jaden Rashad. I know we don't know all the details, but part of it, one of the things we were hearing was that he had to, have residence in Gainesville. Is that something that could be a part of somebody's NIL? Like, hey, you got to have residence in Athens for this particular month.
We've got a. Actually, a couple that helped to walk on. They've got several players that are working for them with contracts, and in their contract they say you have to be a resident of Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, and so they do that, and we overlook the contracts and make sure that they're good, and Matt oversees them and to make sure that our players aren't signing anything that's not fair and won't get them in any trouble or anything. And he's been doing that. Like I said, he's a lawyer, but yeah, that is one of the things that some people want for sure.
Okay, cool. I'm like you. I'm interested to see how all that plays out with the NIL, especially like with the Classic City Collective. Y'all don't even speak to the kids until they're students, and then in that case, in Jaden Rashad, it was like money was promised to him, and he's not even on campus yet. So
right, and that's caused some issues between athletic departments and the collectives at Florida, at Tennessee, with this kid's coming in from California, the quarterback that he's got a NIL promise from the Haslam family. I think they spent $250 million on Deshaun Watson one day, and the next day spent promised $8 million on this kid coming from California to play quarterbacks for their two teams.
Yeah.
So that was,
they want to win football bad.
Right.
Clearly.
Yeah. But there's some misconceptions out there that that Arch Manning went to Texas because of NIL money and didn't come here. And Arch Manning could go to where I used to work with Josh Brooks, actually, Louisiana Monroe, and make millions in NIL money. It didn't, it doesn't matter where he's going. And so he was not ever looking for that. And some of these other guys, the other kid we're looking at in the 24 class,
Dylan.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm allowed to say those names or not, to be honest with you.
I don't know. Well, you didn't. So hey, just in case y'all watching, Coach I said his name.
I didn't, just in case.
Yeah.
I'm not an employee, so but those guys that are going to come in and be stars like most likely be stars like they're going to be fine. They're not going to have to worry about some things like that. And so Arch Manning was going to make money wherever he went. Not that his family needed money, but
Right.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. So
yeah.
I'm sure Matthew McConaughey got in his ear and said, all right. Better be coming here, sir.
Hey, talking NIL and recruiting, and speaking of recruiting, we got the spring game coming up Saturday. So we got a lot of our 2023 guys that were already on campus. I want to say most of them. I know we got probably about 5 or 6 that didn't enroll early, but we'll get a chance to see them Saturday. JV, who are you looking forward to checking out? And don't say Lucky. You already know.
We are. I know.
Well, I'm not going to say Lucky, but I'm looking forward to seeing Lawson. You know what? I'm just extremely excited about this young man. I think I gave a breakdown when we were looking at the up-and-coming freshmen that were going to be on campus early. I talked about him not being as high of a recruit status-wise as Sperling, but I thought that he was ready-made for the position and to be able to come in and play. Looking forward to seeing that guy. Definitely looking forward to seeing how Beck performs. Just because, man, he's taking over the helm, but he has years under this system. So I expect for him to look as good as he's looked in the years past. I just want to see it though. Ease some of the angst of the people that are out there. And I also want to see this D line collectively, what they are going to be able to do. Like Stephen pointed out, it's ones on ones, it's iron on iron, it's a mano on a mano. So I want to see those guys get after some people. I know we don't do any blitzing and all that good extravagant stuff during the spring, but I want to see somebody whoop somebody one-on-one. So that's what I got for you.
Okay, that's cool. So, hey, so Steven, we know you helping the players get the money, but we know you still a football fan at heart, and you was with the equipment staff back in the day, helping JB get those hands right. Who are you looking forward to seeing that you might not have seen a lot of, because we know you get to go to practice and things of that nature?
I will say Lawson does look good. So JB, but he looks good, but he's still easily only the third best tight end out there right now for us.
That's a great
Yeah.
problem.
Absolutely. Brock Bowers does not. Watching him in practice, he never slows down. It's unbelievable. It's ridiculous. But I'm looking forward to seeing a couple of these receivers, Williams, but then Lovett, and I can tell the difference in the last 3 weeks between Lovett and Ra. You can tell they're learning the offense better and not thinking when they're route running and things like that. So you can really tell that it's more instinctive now, and then they look good. So getting those guys on the right page with the quarterbacks, that's kind of what I'm looking for, because I think that's going to add a little different element we've had the last couple of years with our receivers. And Aaron ran a couple of 9 routes today where nobody was within 4 or 5 yards from him. So I think
that slow guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I see old Thad Parker there asking for some retroactive money.
Shawty Parker checking in our Respect the Hedges co-host says that any of that buddy retrospective.
You're not the first player from back in the day to ask me that. Brandon Miller was at coach's clinic in practice, and Brandon Miller asked me that, and then Robert Edwards got in on it. So I've heard it a few times.
So since you do get to go to practice sometimes, David Williams checking in. What's going on, David? He wants to know how EJ Lightsey, the linebacker, is looking. I think, isn't that the one that was in like the car wreck, and then he came in last year in class of 2022.
Yeah, to be honest, all of our linebackers look great, but him in particular, I'm sorry, I wouldn't have a great answer for you. So.
All right. Look at Priest to some good questions there. Look, all the older players want to know what's up with the retroactive.
They do. I don't blame them.
Right?
So, Hina, who are you looking forward to seeing this weekend at the spring game?
Well, it's always exciting to see, former friends now that their children are on the team. So I have to say lucky. I can't believe we're at the place in our age where we're seeing our friends have kids playing at Georgia. It's wonderful though. And then of course Pierce Sperlin unfortunately is hurt, so he will not be there. But he again is a friend, played with my son here at Walton. My son was a senior when he was a freshman, but I guess I'll have to wait till season for that one. But really just to see how the team gels, as a whole, to see how our offense is doing, how well they're prepped and ready to go. So I'm excited about everything.
There it is. All right. Shawty Parker saying, ladies, y'all are definitely camera ready.
I'm a little upset. That Dion got the 1 o'clock ESPN slot and we got the 4 p.m. ESPN 2 spot.
Some people made some mention about that on Twitter, how Colorado got the so-called prime spot.
Right.
Hey, man.
I mean, we are the defending national champions.
Hey, Shelby, you could take solace in this, Shelby. Alabama won't be on ESPN; they'll be on the SEC network.
Yeah, but they'll still be on TV. They'll still be on TV. Auburn didn't even make it, so.
That's right. So, Shelby, who are you looking forward to seeing this weekend in the spring game?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm excited to see what Carson Beck is gonna do, but I also kind of want to see what Brock is gonna give us, because we didn't really see him last year. We saw a little bit of Carson, kind of in garbage time, but we didn't really see what Brock has. And I thought for sure he was gonna transfer. I mean, the rumors out of Athens was that he was gonna transfer, but sounds like he's sticking it out, at least. And then until after the spring game, I guess we'll see. And Branson Robinson, I mean, that kid really impressed me last year. I know it was garbage time, but that kid can run. So I'm excited to see him. I know it'll be a vanilla offense, a vanilla defense. Kirby's not going to put anything on film. We know that. But I think they just want to hit each other. And I think once they get through this, I know JV, you can speak to this. After the spring, you're ready to hit other people and not just
Facts.
the same people.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing who's gonna step up in that other cornerback role. I personally have liked Nyland Green since he came in. I know Dalen Everett got some time last year, and I think there's another guy that's fighting for that position. But I want to see who's going to get the other starting corner opposite Kamari Lester. So that's what I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Any insight on that, Stephen, from practice?
They rotate that backfield so much. And same thing with I don't know what they call it, the star spot. And so there's some interchangeable parts there. And we got a couple of guys coming back from injury. Does Dan Jackson get back and play any? I don't know. It's gonna be hard for him to get past some of these guys the way they're playing. And so that's our, again, I think that's still our we're deeper there than we have been the last couple of years, but it's still our most question mark in the secondary. I think just like kind of last year, we had a little bit of that too. Because the first two levels, very excited about and think we're solid as we can be.
Shawty says, does NIL money, or do you think NIL money make it even harder for players to transition to a normal life? I'm assuming Shawty means like after their college career.
Well, we'll see. I mean, we really don't know that yet. Like I said earlier, we have Truist. We have guys that they're on campus at least once a week or once every other week, and kind of have office hours for guys to come see them, talk to them. They'll plan things out for them. We've got a couple of our guys that are keeping their money with them, and they're using them. They're doing their taxes. We did have a couple guys just now they've come back and didn't realize, because we don't take out tax money from them, so they've not realized that even though we've told them, we've set them up with it and told them several times that they actually, oh gosh, April 15th, I owe some money. And so that's been a little bit of a surprise for them. But we hope they, by giving them this advice that, hey, they know they can leave college with a nest egg that I didn't have for sure.
absolutely.
Most people don't
Me
have.
either. Me either.
Yeah, that you can have, even if you don't go to the NFL, you can have these things set up, and you're not coming out of school with any debt or anything like that, and you can put some money away and already start towards retirement. So I hope these guys continue to do this. But obviously some won't. Some are spending it a little faster than we want them to, and we've told them about it. But it's still ultimately that money. But you're right, Thad. It's going to be interesting to see how that changes people. So
is that a requirement for them to meet with a financial planner?
It is. We have to do part of another part of our job is education that we have to do with the athletic association, each team, and part of that is talking to them about financial literacy and what to do, and then to actually meet with a financial advisor. No, but we encourage them strongly to just teach them some of the basics things of checking and savings, and hey, let's put some money in a money market or things like that. Just anything and put away some on the side for taxes, and let's do that, and go ahead and put it in a fund for that instead of trying to spend it and save it, because I think people thought, oh, I can save my taxes at the end and things like that. So we had a few hiccups here and there, but nothing that no one's going to jail or anything for.
Well, you know what, Steven? That's an actual that's a great thing, because these young kids are getting this money, and of course, we've all been there. We've all had some money burning a hole in our pocket, and they have a lot more than a little bit of money that we have in our pocket. But you guys are giving them the tools. You're giving them some tools to be able to not only enjoy the money that they're receiving right now, but to be responsible and to set themselves up, number one, for life, because you're gonna have to pay taxes for the rest of your life. That's one of the most certain things in life. Exactly. Is you're gonna have to pay taxes
every year.
Every year.
Taxes, it's your guaranteed thing.
Death and taxes is coming for us all. But you guys putting these rules you guys putting these tools in place for them to be able to take advantage of, it only allows them to be more successful. And kudos to you guys, man. It sounds like you guys from the beginning have put some thought into this. You guys have set the platform up so that it has some safety measures and some guidelines, not only for yourself, but also for the student athletes and for the program itself.
Absolutely.
Kudos. Salute to you.
Thank you. We're trying, and again, most of that goes to Matt. I'm just here the guy chasing the money, but we want to. I love Georgia like you guys. I was there. I've got will always be a dog no matter what, and so I want what's the best and for our guys, and I want our guys to be successful, and just the opportunity they have is just unbelievable, and we stress to them, please understand what this opportunity is. Not only are you getting a free education and playing football at Georgia, but now you're actually getting to interact with some of these donors and people that are making a ton of money and using that name. You've got 2 rings that will get you in any door you ever want to get into in the state of Georgia. And so, like that kid that left to go to Alabama last year, I don't understand. He had his name to do whatever he wanted to do in the state. But kids can now do and have that. Plus, you can buy a house when you get out of college. You can do all these things so far ahead of everybody else. So use it, take care of it, and do what's best for that. Because I want that for our program. You all do. I mean, we all want that. We want this success to sustain. We had some down years together that that's now the.
We don't have to talk about all of it.
We had a lot of years.
That's right. Hey,
Actually,
that's right. So, hey, words of wisdom from Stephen Farmer with the Classic City Collective. And we want to thank you, Stephen, for joining us, man, giving us knowledge, some of the things, information that we didn't know about the NIL and kind of breaking it down, taking some time out. Thanks for coming on Respect the Hedges and giving us that knowledge.
Great to be here. Thanks for inviting me. And anytime I can jump on here anytime y'all need any knowledge and wisdom.
We will definitely. We will definitely put that favor in our back pocket.
JB, send me that Venmo later so I can take it.
Hey, listen, I think our money gonna be going like this.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, wait, JB, I need to cut. I'm your agent.
Hey, listen, Haley, you already in on the deal. As a matter of fact, you and Shelby, man, you guys look phenomenal tonight. Piggyback on what Shawty Parker said.
Always bringing the red, representing Georgia. This is the end of our football 101, trying to make you a better fan. We talked about some rules and regulations. I had a referee for you. We talked about some offense. We talked about defense, brought you Malachi Starks, telling you a player perspective. We gave you some recruiting, the NIL, got Stephen Farmer on here. I mean, come on, man. What else y'all want, man? Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Check out those links we put in the comments, man. Hey, listen, we're in the golden times in Athens. We're looking for that three-peat, by the way. Kirby, if you
great to be a Georgia
Bulldog. Any of this. As if we want it more than he does. But it's great to be a Georgia Bulldog. Hey, for our cast here, listen, Hina, you have been great these last 4 weeks. You are a Respect the Hedges on-campus correspondent going forward in 2023. Y'all look for something Saturday morning. We will be trying to come to you live from Athens. Shelby, you always, you are Respect the Hedges. You with us, and we appreciate you coming on. Me and JB will be back at this thing once we start wrapping up the spring. And again, thanks to Stephen Farmer for coming on and giving us that knowledge. I'm your man, Coach I. This Respect the Hedges. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Do it.